dyed my hair officially back to my actual color. Oof, I'm ready. Oh, you can't see shit, can you? Here it is. Not my natural hair length, but it's like my natural hair color. I'm also not wearing foundation, so if I look like a zombie, that's why. Hey, y'all's balls! So this could be a depressing ass video, and it very well could get deep, but like I'm not planning on that because like, it's not my style. I say that as I've like cried in 2 vids. But today I wanted to talk about something that like, I've always not liked talking about. This whole thing makes me very uncomfortable, but like I get questions, there we go. I get questions constantly about this, and I feel like, you know, it's my own fault for making my own self uncomfortable all the time because I didn't really tell many people about this. I really don't talk about this very much. However, I did do a video on Ariel Scarsala's channel, which you can, I'll link that below, talking about, you know, why I don't want bottom surgery or anything like that. But today I'm gonna go in depth with it. And then I asked you guys on Twitter and Instagram about, you know, your questions that you have, just things in general you wanna know of, like why I don't want bottom surgery or how bad my dysphoria is down there. So let's just start it. We'll start off with the first thing first, which is, do I have bottom dysphoria? The answer is yes, I do have bottom dysphoria. If I didn't have bottom dysphoria, I wouldn't be tucking. It's not tucked great right now, but like don't clock me on that. So yes, I do have bottom dysphoria. There's actually a big aspect of my bottom dysphoria that I really haven't talked about ever. And let's just get into it right now. So a big majority of my bottom dysphoria comes from the fact that I cannot birth a child and I just don't have a vagina. And we're gonna get into the surgeries in a little bit, but the surgeries don't hold up to my standards of a vagina. It doesn't hold up to my standards of what I'd want myself to have. But for now, I wanted to clear up the fact that yes, I do have bottom dysphoria. I get a lot of questions on this. Do you need bottom dysphoria to be trans? For example, if a trans guy doesn't pack, which if you don't know what packing is, it's basically, you know, putting a fake dick down there or putting something down there to make it look like you have biological male genitalia, a penis. But if a trans guy doesn't pack, like, is he not trans? No, like, he's still trans. So of course, with that logic, also a trans girl that may not tuck, you know, she's still a trans girl by that logic. So do I believe you need bottom dysphoria to be trans? No, because how much dysphoria you have about your genitalia or your genitalia dysphoria in general does not determine if you're trans or not. What determines if you're trans or not is if you have gender dysphoria or not. Now let's go on to the surgery and why I don't want the surgery. So you know, like those question stickers on Instagram of like, you know, ask me this. Well, I put up on there and I said, ask me some personal stuff. And I will show you many, not even all, but just many of the people who asked this question. And like, it did make me very dysphoric, but nobody knew that. So I'm not like holding it against anybody, obviously. But, you know, it's like, I feel sometimes, and this is just a personal thing, that like a lot of people just don't understand the fact that like, a lot of people are naive in the fact, and I'm not holding that against them again, but like a lot of people are naive in the fact that like, you don't need the surgery to be trans. Not every trans person is going to want the surgery. The surgery is huge. It's this huge, expensive, life-altering thing, really. It changes a lot, and it changes a lot in a person. Like, I know so many trans girls that hold off a lot in life, like hold off college, hold off just many things until they get bottom surgery. So it's a huge pivotal moment in life to get this, and it's a big life change. So that's a lot of stress on one thing, and that's a reason why I don't want it. Another thing is just like, I have a big fear of surgeries, and yes, I'm gonna get a breast augmentation soon, and I'm planning on getting a nose job. Nose jobs happen all the time. Breast augmentations happen all the time. These kind of surgeries do not happen as often. They do happen, I'd say pretty frequently, but not as frequently as a breast augmentation or a nose job, considering the fact that also cis people do it. A lot of cis people won't get the same bottom surgeries as trans people. Some do though, some have to actually. Fun fact, some cis men have to get phalloplasty and some cis women have to get vaginoplasties. I said this in the Ariel Scarsala video that only way that would make me go, yes, I want the surgery, is if I could have a baby. And again, a big part of my bottom dysphoria is from the fact that like, I can't have a biological baby. I can't carry a baby in my womb. I cannot birth a child. And even for the fact that like I can't have menstrual cycles, you know, really makes me dysphoric. And this kind of does show how naive people are to bottom dysphoria with trans people. It's like a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, Len, you don't want periods and all that. And it's like, I understand just because you go through them, you have like this, I'm not trying to get too mad, but like, because you go through them and you're like, oh, they're so bad. But it's like, I'm willing to go through that fucking pain to not be like, I can't help what I'm dysphoric about. I can't, I really can't. I'm willing to go through that pain to have a normal fucking vagina. And like, a lot of people might also say, what is a normal vagina? And technically all vaginas are very much different. But I think you know what I mean in the fact that like, I want a working vagina in like every aspect. And there's also gonna be those people out there who say like, oh, well, there's some women who just can't have periods, or there's some women who just can't give birth, or, you know, I get that. I get that. It doesn't make me feel any better. It might make another trans girl feel better, but you saying that to me makes me think even more that I'm not a regular girl. Plus it's being trans, and like saying something like that is like a little bit like on, not totally on the delusional side, but like kind of there. Because a girl having problems with her menstruations, a girl having problem with like giving birth and all that, and a girl having problems with like estrogen levels is different than a girl that was born a boy. So that's a fact. I get where they're coming from. It probably does come from like a good place, obviously, and like, you know, I'm not holding that against them, but it's just like, it's a very touchy thing, and it's just, but that just kind of won't help. I mean, what helps me more is just when you be like objective about it and just be like, you can't have this because you're trans. It sucks. But personally, I like things blunt. I like things, you know, it could be harsh, but I like it, you know, straightforward instead of sugarcoating it. As much as I'm into sugary shit, I'm not into sugary bullshit. Now let's answer some questions. For trans women, bottom surgery is more advanced. So do you think you will take advantage of that? No, it is more advanced and it looks very realistic. I finally saw some pictures of it because I've never seen like pictures until Calvin Garris showed me, and I was, it looks very realistic. But again, I can't have periods out of it. I can't have a baby out of it. How bad is your bottom dysphoria on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd say 5. Is it the method of bottom surgery you don't like, or the overall concept of it? I'd say it's more the overall concept of it. Like, you know, it's for those people out there who want to get bottom surgery and who need it and stuff like that, please get it. I should have put this at the beginning that like, I'm not shaming anybody for wanting bottom surgery. I'm not shaming anybody for, you know, wanting to take this in their life, because there's some trans girls out there who's just like, I'll have anything but this protruding from my genitalia or from my bottom area. And like, of course those girls should take that 100%. But personally, that's not the relationship I have with my genitalia. Like, I could live with my penis for the rest of my life. That's kind of what it comes down to. How do you deal with people that ask you about whether or not bottom surgery is right for you? I'm guessing they mean like when people question it. And as for that, like, ignore them. Really, like, surgery is all you. I hate people that surgery shame. Like, I hate people that shame others who have plastic surgery or had plastic surgery in the past. Like, fuck off. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. And like, you know, for example, I live in the US, a very free state where you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can make whatever augmentations you want with your body that you can. If I wanted a fucking third arm, I can get a third arm, and I'd probably need like $1 million for that. But it's within my rights. I think I remember seeing you say you wouldn't get bottom surgery a while ago. Has that changed? If not, are you ruling it out forever or just for now? That's a really good question. You know, if in the future their skills and their tactics for it improve a lot more, and actually they have improved very recently. Like I remember a friend telling me that like they do take from, what was it, the colon? I forget. They do take tissue from another organ of the body and then put that in there, and you could actually get wet and you can like self lubricate. And when I heard that, like, it really, okay, like they're actually improving upon it. And like, I'm all for that. I'm all for an accurate vagina, as you can tell, but I want it like so fucking accurate. Like I want it exactly perfect, you know? Perfectionist over here. Are you worried about anesthesia awareness if you get bottom surgery? I know you've talked about this before and I was wondering if that's your main concern. Love you. Yes, but that's kind of just for any surgery. Like I'm nervous for my breast augmentation with that because I've had like a history now over the years of being very, very, very immune to numbing meds. I've had like cavities before and like they had to fill it in and they didn't numb me enough and I felt it and they were like, oh shoot. And they didn't know I felt it until like I started crying. So they doubled the dose and like, it's just like, it's a lot. And I'm very tolerant of anything anesthesia wise. I'm very tolerant of things that will numb you and things that will, you know, ease the pain. And like, you know, I would have to take a lot of Advil, for example, if I got like, you know, a toothache or something like that. But it scares me constantly. That's with every surgery, you know? But definitely if I wanted that surgery, that anxiety will be like on the roof, no. On a fucking plane, nope. On a spaceship to Mars, that's where my anxiety would be. Is there anything specific that triggers your bottom dysphoria? Like maybe certain types of bottoms, pants, showering, sometimes tight jeans that like really show it and like really hug around the bottom area really make me dysphoric. Like the bigger it looks in my pants, the more dysphoric I get. As for showers, I really refrain from looking down there actually too much. Like I really don't look down there. So like if I'm taking a shower and I'm like totally undressing and I like look down there and I'm like I'm just kind of more unsettled with it and uncomfortable with it being there, but like I just kind of refrain from looking at it. That way I don't get upset. Throughout the day, how much do you think about it and how does it compare in terms with strength of discomfort to other dysphoria? So my bottom dysphoria definitely is not as heavy as the other parts of my dysphoria, like with my nose, sometimes with like even my hair length or my chest or like my body proportions. In fact, I think either my nose or my like body proportions, like my hips, I'm probably dysphoric about the most. But my genitalia really isn't one of the big ones. So this question asks if me and my boyfriend have talked about this. We have, and the other day we were actually talking about it, and he knows that like me talking about biological kids and all that will get me dysphoric. I do talk about biological kids sometimes still, just because like sometimes I just really want to talk about it. Like if we had a kid, it'd like look like this and shit, and like, you know, stuff like that and cute shit. So he's very aware of it and he's very okay, go with the flow. Like, would it bother you if I asked this? Would it bother you? Like he's just very on board and very like amazing at it, and he's very amazing with it. And he handles me like a pro. Are you able to have sex with your bottom dysphoria? Yeah, actually. Hope my mom and dad don't watch this video. So the other questions kind of get repetitive and it's like the same thing. So those were the like interesting ones that I wanted to answer. Anyway, thank y'all's balls so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you do. And I'll see y'all's balls in the next video. London. Oh my God. London out.